Live from the Export Beer Garden Studios, this is the BYC podcast.
New Zealand's original cricket podcast, the BYC.
Radio, it's a pleasure to welcome along Dylan Cleaver and Paul Ford. You guys have already had a post-test match love-in on Monday where you extolled the virtues of the Black Caps' victory at the Oval. Now it's time to probably get into the nitty-gritty of it. Obviously, the euphoria's calmed down a bit.
A little bit.
Shit, we needed
Still
that.
time for maths, Michael.
Okay.
Still lots of time for mathematics.
I'm sure. But shit, I needed that. I needed that so much in the weekend after my beloved Chiefs got absolutely... I can't even describe how badly they were beaten on Saturday night. So I needed it. I went to the Warriors game. I needed that. And I was actually preparing myself for almost an all-nighter with Joe Jury and Mania Stewart down in Christchurch. We were like, right, let's go back up to my room. Let's take a couple of bottles of wine and let's sit in and watch a victory. We didn't even get to my room. Matt Henry finished it off so quickly.
You're still in the bar?
Yeah, I was still in the bar. And I said to Joe, I said, well, should we go? And I went up and went, oh, they've already won. And we're like, oh, okay. So we settled back into the bar and got thrown out anyway.
Did you catch up on it?
No, didn't. We didn't. I mean, look, there's a lot of things that happened down in Christchurch that will remain in Christchurch, including a run-in with Russell Packer, Mark Tukey, and Willie Mason. So
not a run it straight, I hope.
Oh, Jesus. But three of the biggest run it straight exponents ever. Different run-ins for different reasons with all of those. Mania had his and with Willie Mason. I had mine with Russell Packer. May have triggered him around his jail. I described Mark Tukey's facial hair as a prison vagina. And then Russell Packer said, that's quite triggering for me. Anyway, so I needed this victory. But in the end, Kane Williamson, as he always is, he was right, wasn't he? Didn't need him.
No, not required. Mr. Darcy was absolutely sublime. It was a sensational performance from New Zealand, as we talked about. And, I think how good that Mr. Darcy is on the honours board twice, once for each 5-wicket bag at the Oval. Getting Root and Brooks in both innings was the absolute perfect way to lead the attack. Thought Tom Blundell kept like a god with that glorious wild mane. I would like Dylan Cleaver to answer this question. How do you respond to allegations that you called Tom Blundell Tom Blunder in the BYC WhatsApp group? I would like to have that withdrawn and apologised, and it's Tom Blinder to you.
I've been back scrolling there to try and find that. I can only put it down to predictive text.
Okay.
Just like when I accidentally called Mike a wanker instead of a winner.
That's a lie. It is a lie.
It was good. I was also going to say I loved Glenn Phillips channeling Richard Reid batting in sunglasses. That was magnificent. I loved Willow Rourke going to war with Roo in the first innings and Duckett in the second. Great to see our young enforcer enforcing, and I guess a shout out to Henry Nicholls, bloody brilliant, replacing the icon. A gritty knock, but not a lucky knock, and I thought he was fantastic.
Blundell, for me, it was a real flex on the English keeper, wasn't it? Because the English keeper did not cover himself in glory at all, and then you had Tom Blundell standing up to the keeper and not letting byes through, taking catches. It was a real, this is how you do it, son. This is how you do it.
It's not often the wicket keeper is kind of the superstar of the occasion. Like the eye candy of the match was Tom Blundell's keeping, really. It was so good. Where Ian Smith always used to describe him as the drummer in the band. For once, the keeper was the lead guitarist. And it was magnificent.
With the haircut to show for it as well. Yeah. He was one bandana, I reckon, off looking kind of like full Brett Michaels, which would have been great. I had a quick look at the nerdery around the Roo keeping effort. He was 4 off the record, or England were 4 off the record for the most extras. So I was really gagging for that. The West Indies gave up 57 back in 1980. Their wicketkeeper was a guy called Derek Murray. He compounded it by being responsible for a good proportion of those extras, but also got a first ball duck. He only batted once in the game. Golden duck, out hit wicket. So yeah, he had an absolute blowout. But we can say probably that Roo put in one of the worst wicket-keeping performances at the Oval for about 50 years.
Excellent. Okay, well, I'm not surprised. Rightio. Now that you've come off the euphoria of Sunday evening, any reality checks, Dylan, that the New Zealand team need to potentially look at before Thursday?
A couple of little ones. One potential selection wrinkle. One's not a selection wrinkle, but a performance wrinkle. And on the Tour to Ireland in England, our two openers have compiled 100 runs between them in 10 innings. That's an average of 10. I did the maths on that.
Yeah, well done.
And I can confirm.
Yeah.
And haven't really looked like getting runs either. I thought Conway gutted it out in that second innings at Lord's, and just for a little while there, you thought, could they, when him and Phillips were together? So he got 41 on that, but he's done nothing else. And not only that, it looks like England have figured them out. And Stuart Broad said something interesting in the commentary.
What? Stuart Broad said something interesting.
Yeah,
besides talking about himself. and
I don't mind him.
Don't you?
No, I actually don't. I quite like that English broadcast. I have the sound on far more for that than I do for when cricket is played in other regions. But he did say they were talking about whether Matt Fisher should come over the wicket because he bowls that outswing and bring LBW and the stumps into play a little bit more rather than going straight around the wicket. And Broad said something along the lines of very early on we figured out we bring all the modes of dismissal into play with Tom Latham when we come around the wicket.
Okay.
So it did sound like they've had him figured out for quite a while. So that's one little thing. I mean, there's no alternative there. You could bring in Will Young as an opener, but that almost feels cruel on him. You know, he's waiting for a middle order chance. He's gagging for it.
And you're not going to drop the captain. I was just going to say, at least Devon Conway's got something to show for the English tour, which is a small baby called Taylor, who was born. But yeah, you're right. You know, if New Zealand's 20 for 2, because those guys have both got out for 10, and we don't have Kane Williamson, that doesn't feel like a great recipe for top order success long term.
No, it doesn't. And one other thing, I just wondered, and I'm keen to get your guys' thoughts on this as well, but that was a breakthrough innings from Phillips. But I'm still a little bit confused about the big picture for him. Batting at 7, only bowling if it's absolutely ragging it. Is it? I mean, has he shown enough now to maybe put him up as high as 5 and put Son of a Mitch down as your more solid option at 6 and wee Tommy Blundell at 7? Maybe it's just a bit of pointless decoration of those middle order spots, but I just wonder if it's time for a bulked up role for Glenn Phillips.
I think definitely he should be up 5 or 6. I think you can interswap him and Mitchell around in that 5 or 6 role. I don't think that makes a difference, to be honest.
Well, Blundell's coming in at 6, isn't he?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, does he come in at 7? Blundell.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I mean, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that, I don't think.
It seems fine to me, and it feels like maybe is that a Tom Blundell decision at the moment, do you think? You know, it feels like as the wicketkeeper, he would probably have some rights around where he wants to bat in the order, just given the physical and mental energy of having to be engaged in every ball, and then suddenly, we're 4 down and he's back out there again. It feels like he's probably making that call at the moment.
I do wonder, because number 6 is sometimes seen as a second new ball position.
Yeah.
And because Blundell's got a background in opening for New Zealand as well, whether he's seen as the best guy for that. But yeah, I don't know. 7 just feels a little bit low for Phillips.
I mean, that would make sense if that's the scenario of the game and that's why you did it. But it feels like we just do it every time, no matter what. It feels like Phillips is going to move up the order. I'm not sure. I think I literally advocated for this a couple of weeks ago, but here I actually went and did some maths this week, and I'm not sure that he's got a sufficient body of work so far to kind of, demand a higher slot. Yes, 100 is a wonderful start, but he's averaged 23 in the series before this. He averages 46 in the World Test Championship. He averaged 29 when England were in New Zealand. He averaged 28 for the India Test Series. So it's not a phenomenal record that he's put together, but hopefully with that 100, it's the start of one.
And Blundell's got 7 Test hundreds, right? He's proven, yeah. It wasn't a knock on Blundell or Mitchell. I just feel like Phillips is bursting out of those massive guns and that tight shirt.
He always has to do something a little bit different though, and wearing the sunnies. It's like he's quite a quirky character, isn't he? He's a quirky little individual, is Glenn Phillips. And when I saw him in the come out in the glasses, I was like, oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
He does think he's Tom Cruise, doesn't he? Like if he went out, I think maybe at Trent Bridge he needs to come out in like a leather jacket, maybe, and maybe ride out on a motorbike and with like a chick on the back of the motorbike. That'd be amazing.
Don't put the idea in his head. He will turn up to the ground in a motorbike. Take my breath away. And some hot bird on the back. So, I mean, this leads into the conversation to spin or not to spin. I mean, does that, what are we doing there? Is Satner a chance for Trent Bridge?
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's been baking there, hasn't it, for 3 days now. On the trot, they're expecting to get mid to high 30 degrees, which for England is
sweltering.
It's like being on the surface of the sun.
Yeah.
It's, I'd be tempted to, unless they genuinely think that Phillips and Ravindra can fulfill that role. They're kind of almost like a hybrid senior spinner by joining the two of them.
Yeah.
If not, I think Santner's got to play. And I mean, one of them's unlucky. I quite like Nathan Smith because he's a little bit like Phillips and stuff happens around him.
Yeah.
Like the run out was superb. He just missed a run out previous to that as well. I know he nearly butchered the catch.
The one-handed juggle.
But he got it.
Yeah.
And he's a high-energy guy. Got out to one of the worst dismissals I've ever seen, unfortunately, when he top edge lapped a Jacob Bethel full bunger. Knee high.
To Bethel's credit, Bethel did not celebrate that wicket, which I think was good.
Yeah. But I do like Nathan Smith, but he would be the logical one for me to miss out. If
right.
They do get
Yeah. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to rely on Phillips and Ravindra. I think they're going to keep it the same. That's just my gut feel. I had a quick look at some recent test matches. Shoaib Bashir got 9 wickets against Zimbabwe there last year. He got 7 against the West Indies the year before. Jack Leach got 3 against us back in 2022. Bracewell got 3, and then against India in 2021, there were 0 wickets in the whole match from spin. So, it feels like, to me, first of all, Bashir looks like he likes playing there, so he'll probably play. But I'm just not convinced that New Zealand will roll the dice on Santner. It's also drizzling forecast to be drizzling weirdly in the middle of a heat wave on Friday, the second day of the test match. And our seamers will be nice and rested, assuming they haven't been on the piss with rugby teams getting wrecked at the rec room. And I just don't think Smith did enough wrong. So, yeah, I'm happy for Ravindra and Phillips to create some mischief with the spin.
Okay, so that's New Zealand's selection discussion. What about England? They've obviously had the return of a few scallywags into the team. Welcomed back with open arms. Brendon McCullum's come out this morning and said, no issue. Hit up Ben Stokes and said, listen, Ben, I've heard what's the story of these rumours about our relationship. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we're all good. And Ben Stokes went, yeah, no idea. You were good mates. Yeah. That's it.
He doth protesteth too much. It sounds a little bit like that. But, I reckon some stuff's got on there. Whether they've fallen out or not, it's probably a moot point, really. They're clearly going to be back together. And this has gone, England's gone from having a pretty weak bowling attack 1 week to Jofra, Stokes, Atkinson, Tongue. It's better than they had at Lord's. This is...
And Robinson.
No, Robinson's going to miss out, I think.
Really?
Yeah, so it's basically it's Archer in for Robinson based on that first test 11. So, yeah, geez.
Could be a bit of bobbing and weaving.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like that last test match was chaos ending in humiliation, and this is New Zealand's opportunity for a nuclear winter on Bazball. We were the start of it.
Yep.
We can finish it. Potentially could be the end of Brendon McCullum's career. England do not like or tolerate losing test series at home. It's just not something that's done, particularly to teams that are the curtain raiser to summer. It does feel like the English circus has arrived in Nottingham. I'm a bit worried that the wounded lion that is Ben Stokes backed into a corner. He's going to have massive crowd support. I'd suggest he is going to come out like a hero. He's going to have a bigger chip than usual on his shoulder. He hasn't scored big runs in Test cricket for a while. I'm a bit nervous about how all the chaos has given him a reason to be pissed off and good this week.
So Gideon Haigh had this to say about the test at the Oval. 5 changes, 2 blokes unavailable because they were on the piss, 1 bloke out because his wife was pregnant, old stager as emergency captain, no spinner, a backstop as a keeper, and 4 number 11s. It could be a week at your local club or village. It was England coming to the Oval Test, and it's worked out as well as it usually does. An abject humiliation.
Yeah, isn't it?
What a word.
How good.
That is so good. Jeffrey Boycott, on the other hand, thank goodness Ben Stokes is back as captain, because Joe Root has learned nothing.
I actually listened to Jeff Boycott on a podcast this week, and curiously, because he's kind of the last person you'd expect, he is probably Brendon McCullum's biggest supporter. And he actually made a very sane point, and very far from an old man shouty at Cloud's point, where he said, you got to remember, he took the job when England had won 1 of their previous 17 tests. He took the job when Joe Root was the most boring captain in the world. England played an incredibly dull, self-centred brand of cricket. And he turned these guys into supermen briefly.
Yeah.
He said, now all they need to do, he said, like, what he did should never be understated, because England cricket was so dire and he made them the most watchable team in the world. He did add as a little bit of a punch at the end that now all they need to do is apply some brains to their cricket as well. But yeah, it was quite nice to hear that, actually, because there's just so much negative and noise around that England camp, and it does feel like McCullum is dead man walking.
Well, I feel like the media have just got their bit in their teeth for McCullum, haven't they?
Oh, Rampant Crash cannot stand him, and he's a columnist at one of the biggest media organisations in the world. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they really pissed the media off with the way they tucked the Harry Brooks situation away, and then it kind of leaked out and became obviously a much bigger issue than what it would have been if they just dealt with it on the spot. And I think they broke a lot of trust there. I love the story. I think it was Simon Johnson was talking about it. He was saying that when he was in a team with Ian Botham in the West Indies, they had a team meeting and told a bunch of players, including Graham Gooch, that they needed to stop going for runs in the morning along the beach. And he was like, what do you mean? Why do I need to stop going for runs in the morning? It's like part of my preparation. They're like, no, because you're coming back and you are going to sleep at the pub, and that is not acceptable. So it's amazing how the world has turned.
Also, to add insult to injury, of England would dock 12 World Test Championship points for farting around in the overs rates.
Yeah.
They're never in, are they in contention even?
No, they're not, but that can actually hurt you. I mean, it hurt Australia in 2021. So
yeah, they've lost, I think, 48 points over the last 4 years. And they keep saying, well, Stokes in particular keeps saying, we don't care about the World Test Championship. It's a load of nonsense, which I think is actually shithouse given how much and how important Test cricket is for England. But the thing about this is it just plays into that whole thing that they're a shambles, it's a circus, their communication is poor, their planning is poor, their preparation is poor, they're all over the place on selections. It just plays into this theme of chaos.
If they don't care about it, they should play less of it, and they shouldn't host the World Test Championship final.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to be moving that from Lords, so I wonder where it'll move to.
Oh, I wonder. A minute bit? Okay, we're going to take a quick hydration break, fellas. We're obliged to do that just to increase the advertising dollars, and we'll be back just a moment. Right, we've got a bit of correspondence to get through here, fellas, but before we do that, that was the 7th victory the Black Caps ever had over on Mud Island. Where are you ranking that on the 7 victories, the one at the Oval?
I'm putting it mid-table.
Mid-table?
Yeah, mid-table. I think my personal favourite will always be the Oval 99. I know it was a terrible England team, and I know the English crowd started singing "We're the worst team in the world," but there was something quite magical about winning that series. It was kind of the crowning glory for a lot of those guys in the team, I think. Fleming, Astle,
Twos.
Dion Nash, twos, yeah.
Ones and twos.
Daniel Vittoria never got better.
Yeah.
For Daniel, did he? He had to take over a pretty average team after Fleming.
We had to drive the bus, he had to coach, manage, and select.
So yeah, I've been thinking a little bit about this. I think 99 Oval, and because it was one of those first tours, I think, where you got to see all of it live. Like, I think it was all broadcast back here.
Yeah.
where previously maybe it was a highlights kind of deal.
Well, you had to listen on the radio.
Yeah, or the wireless. Yeah,
Yes, you had to listen to there's the wads moan about the food.
Yeah, I think I've got the Oval first. Oval 99 first.
What are you, Paul?
Yeah, I've got a soft spot for 1983 Headingley, that when it was basically breaking the psychological barrier, the first ever Test win after a billion years of trying. So yeah, that one. I loved Richard Hadley at his peak in 1986. I've actually got a soft spot too for 2021 when we beat them. And the context is important because I feel like it got us on track for the World Test Championship final, which I think was, if not our finest moment in Test cricket, right up there. So yeah, those ones. But 99 definitely as well is right up there too. The other thing about this win last week at the Oval, if it is responsible for the murderous death of Bazball, or partly responsible, then I think it could come up the rankings a little bit if we can do the damage at Nottingham. It'll be where the rot was started.
No victories ever at Nottingham though. So this.
Yep, one.
Not one?
86.
Oh, 86.
The famous
right.
John Bracewell century, pulling Gladstone Small off the front foot, and Hadley going berserk.
Well, isn't that Hadley's almost second home ground?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I think even Gray might have even played a significant role in the 86 victory. Do you have a favourite one, Mike?
I don't actually. I mean, the one from 2021, as Paul said, it was a real heady couple of months, that one. With the lead up into that, obviously with just out of COVID. Are we still in COVID? I don't know. We still had lockdown.
And also it was almost a second string New Zealand team to add insult to English injury. Because they rested quite a few players that were about to play in Southampton. So you had guys like Will Young, Matt Henry, I think, played.
Young Matt Henry was carrying the drinks for about 10 years behind Bolton Southey.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of good things without Kane Williamson, actually. It's weird. I need to do a bit more research on this. We obviously beat India in India. We beat them last week. We beat them in that match that you're just talking about, Mike. It's an interesting multiple aberrations.
Well, we mentioned the World Test Championship briefly there. How did you guys celebrate World Test Championship Day yesterday? Because it was 5 years ago to the day yesterday when Ross Taylor it's hard to describe the shot he played, the slog across from leg stump out over mid-wicket for one bounce four, the iconic arm around.
We call it a pickup.
The pickup. Was it a pickup? I don't know. The iconic picture of Kane putting his arm around
Where
Ross
is that
Taylor.
statue? Why isn't it at the basin?
I went down to the basin and checked if the statue was there, and it wasn't. So I stood there and channeled Jason Hoyt and got my bats out. That's pretty much that was my.
Well, we are campaigning for that. We are campaigning for that statue.
Can we I was thinking we could crowdsource it, get some money, and then just do it.
Yeah, I think so. Outside everyone's come to the decision that it should be outside the J.R. Reid gates out there at the basin. So, I mean, how much is something? Surely you can just 3D print that kind of thing these days. We don't need to get bronze or anything, do we?
$100,000, I reckon, would do it.
Yeah.
And I would like to make it out of the same material that the cover boxes are made out of. So I'm going to talk to Grant Elliott about it and get some of that sort of whatever that material, that magical material.
So we can fire balls at it at 200 kilometres an hour. Is that what you're saying? There you go. Right. So a bit of correspondence, probably links to the above actually, because we discussed that 99 game at the Oval. This one here is from Richard. It says, "Hi, your listeners, especially me, might be interested in the follow-up story from 1999. I was flatting in Lothian Street, Christchurch that year in 99. One of my flatmates had his 21st on the Saturday night. The leftover keg of icebreaker, a horrible alcoholic lemonade, very late 90s Christchurch booze, and I can second that. If you had a party, you had a keg of beer for the boys and a keg of icebreaker for the ladies."
This is the first time I've ever heard of it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's basically this lemonade. But what used to happen is obviously the guys will drink about half the keg and then just get leery on the icebreaker. That's what always happened. But there was always usually maybe 10 or 12 jugs left at the bottom of the keg the next day because no one could get through the icebreakers. Anyway, the spare keg was brought up to another flat on Lothian Street, which led to a Super Sunday drinking horrible icebreaker, culminating in a famous New Zealand win in the very early hours. Every time I see footage of that win, actually leads to memories of that night. Shit, they were good times. And you put a photo up on our run sheet of icebreaker. I never bought the icebreaker in the flagon. It was only exclusively ever out of a keg.
I don't think you were unusual in that. It was made by a now defunct brewery called Macduff's in Dunedin. I think Harrington's in Christchurch also were also responsible for making it and distributing around Canterbury. But it tasted like just sugar, really, with zero alcohol flavour, famously. So you could absolutely inhale it. And it was noted here, it is synonymous with student culture and massive flat parties in Dunedin and Christchurch. Normally bought in massive kegs from local outlets like Meenan's. It tasted like fizzy lemonade and was notorious for its brutal hangovers, and it has actually shut down. It's gone. You can't get it.
Well, the thing is, they were ahead of their time, weren't they? Because we're talking late 90s here. Now we've got the likes of Powell's and all those other wounders who are doing exactly the same thing as what Icebreaker were doing in the 90s.
I was going to say, actually, that must have been around about the time producer Joe was emerging from his shell in the Canterbury region, but maybe it's predates him a little bit.
We loved Icebreaker.
Oh, you see?
Used to buy it used to go to the bottle shop and buy it in a flagon that you'd fill up. Not like that, not branded. It was just
the brown flagon.
Brown flagons,
like a rigger.
Yeah, rigger, and then the hangovers on that was like you said, Lane. It was the dudes would drink the beer, maybe like a Southern Gold or a Southern Draft keg, and then the ladies would drink the Icebreaker, but then inevitably the guys would get on the Icebreaker.
Yeah, because the girls would be like, "Oh, this is disgusting." They'll be going back drinking their wine,
and they were also wasted by then as well.
Right, Elliot, we do have to touch on the White Ferns. They have managed to avoid probably the worst defence of a world title of all time by beating the powerhouses of Ireland and Scotland. But they have to beat England, and they have to rely on the West Indies to lose their last couple of matches to go into the knockout stages.
Something like that. It essentially can't be done.
Yeah.
But at least they have got off that schneid and won a couple of games. Last night, I sat through New Zealand versus Scotland. It's a pretty tough watch again. The fielding effort, Nancy Patel dropped one that, honestly, it was just so easy.
ACC 11-esque?
It couldn't have been dropped. You know, if Hoyte had dropped that, it would have been too much for you.
Okay. That must have been horrific.
Keeper dropped another one. Actually, I thought the commentators, led by very grumpy Simon Dool and Ian Smith, actually started to get a little bit unfair on her as he gazed. Like, there were a couple of inside edges as she was standing up to the stumps that no one, not even Pete Smithy, would have caught. And it was just this kind of sighing, and it's like, oh dear, look at those feet moving, and it all got a little bit cruel. But it's fair to say she has not covered herself in glory with the gauntlets at this tournament. But it was a win, and it was after a really ropey start. Melly Kerr held out very early in a very similar fashion to the previous two games. Izzy Gaze held out to mid-on. Sophie Devine was bowled through the gate really early, and I thought, holy hell, they're going to go down in a screaming heat to Scotland. And Brooke Halliday and Izzy Sharp had a fantastic partnership.
So you've mentioned here that it's been a tough watch. You thought it was a tough watch watching the White Ferns until you watched the Super Rugby final.
I quite enjoyed the Super Rugby final.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah. I think I thought the White Ferns were bad, then watched the Super Rugby, and that recalibrated what horrific looked like for me. So, yeah, they've been bad, but not that bad. Look, I think we scored our first 50 overnight in the tournament, which is definitely good. Izzy Sharp, well batted. But obviously still battling away over there. Last time I looked, our best bowling economy rate was Brie Elling and Jessica, 7.1 runs per over, 37th equal for the tournament. So, yeah, really struggling, conceding quite a few runs and not scoring enough. But maybe the worm has turned. Susie Bates is back in there. Didn't bowl, took a catch.
Oh, took a catch. Well, that's good.
And Leah Tahuhu got her 100th wicket, which was a nice touch as well. The grandmas have reconvened in that New Zealand team. So
I actually think you made a very good point, Paul. I don't know if it was on the BYC chat or whether it was on Monday's pod, but you said that this White Ferns team has given the impression that they are preparing for a tournament and trying to work out what their combinations are, not actually smack bang in the middle of a tournament. And that is so true. I mean, Susie Bates brought back for the last two games. They've won both of them. But what's her role? Leah Tahu comes back in for that game. Automatically, the attack looks a little bit better balanced. It's just it's been a really weird campaign.
So we'll find out how it ends, obviously, by this time next week. But a kind of a release that I look forward to every year with bated breath, and that is the release of the New Zealand cricket contracts. Anything interesting of note in the who's contracted to New Zealand cricket and who isn't, Paul Ford?
A couple of bits and pieces. So just to be clear, this is a contract that runs from August 2026 to July 2027. I did some maths, and to me, there are 7 players under the age of 30. So, yeah. Wow, 7 out of 20. So 13 and not. The comings and goings, basically you had Adi Ashok and Muabas are the 2 guys that missed out. You had 32-year-old Blair Tickner and 35-year-old Devon Conway coming back in, reflecting, I think, a heavy test schedule. And then guys whose names are not here, but casual contracts are TBC. This is my read. This is what they weren't in the release. But guys like Finn Allen, Tim Seifert, Lockie Ferguson, and probably not casual contracts, Adam Milne and Jimmy Neesham. Interestingly, both Mark Chapman and Michael Bracewell said, don't think about me when you're doing your contract list as a test cricketer. Just think about me as a white ball player. So, yeah, interesting. I think, just in terms of the maths, to give people a steer, the number 1 ranked player, I don't know, DC would have probably done some rankings or something, they get paid about 525,000 plus match payments. Shit. And down to number 20 around 367,000 plus match payments. So yeah, it gives you some ballpark maths.
It's not a bad wicket.
It's good. I have done a little bit of maths on a couple of little points. It's really the fall of the north. It wasn't so long ago where every player seemed to be from ND. Your Kanes, Tims, Trents, Wags, Colin de Grandholm. Now there's 1 ND player contracted. There's 1 Auckland player contracted. There's 2 CD players contracted. So north of about Nainai, there's 4 players that are good. The rest come from south of Nainai. And I just had a stab in the dark at ranking the top 10. And you feel free to say, no, you're stupid, but I've got Henry at 1. I think pretty sure that would be right. Ravindra at 2. Just checking notes here. Daryl Mitchell, I've still got it number 3 because he plays all 3 formats, even if his form's maybe not what it was. Glenn Phillips at 4, again a 3 format player. Will O'Rourke at 5. Mitchell Santner at 6, white ball captain. Obviously Cole Jamieson at 7, potentially all 3 formats. Tommy Latham, test captain at 8. That might be a touch high. Depends what their plans for him for white ball cricket as well. Yeah, so and Duffy 9, player of the year, and Conway 10. So that was my crack at the top 10. For what it's worth.
Oh yeah, I mean I can't argue with that because I haven't even thought about who would be the top 10. Well, I know that I totally agree with the number 1, Matt Henry. He deserves it. He certainly does deserve it. Well, maybe Duffy would probably be a bit higher than that, wouldn't he? If you get
I think Duffy's probably higher than Latham, and because the captaincy thing doesn't actually come into the rankings, you get a separate one-off payment for being a captain as well.
Right. Okay. You've pulled some. I know this is one of your favourite leagues. Kind of potential leagues, growing leagues in the world, Paul Ford, and that is Major League Cricket in America. Quite a number of Kiwis involved in this, and all the Kiwis you expect. You got Tim Seifert, Chapman, Bolt, Milne, Munro, still playing Munro. Corey Anderson still playing. Tim Robinson, the Whakamana Express, Lockie Ferguson, and Chin Allen, all competing over in the Major League Cricket. But is it working? The crowds look a bit dismal.
I've done a bit of delving into this, and some of the crowds look paltry, no doubt about it. Like literally 200, 300 people in a 7,000 seat stadium, a couple of 1,500s, that sort of thing. And look, I think the argument is going to be probably that it's waning interest and all that sort of thing. But the people that are involved in the league, and obviously they're biased, but I guess the people with good intent around the league is really who I mean, not necessarily the investors purely, but what they are talking about is we've got to start something, we've got to build some infrastructure, we've got to build a platform for American kids, American expats, kids of expats maybe. They need to see the sport being played in their country, having the IPL teams come in, set up training camps and training programs, building off the back of the MLC league. It's the development pyramid is the dream that they're selling off the back of this league. So it's a slow burn, certainly. And I think having it during the middle of the World Cup being held in America from a football point of view seems insane to me. At the same time as a Women's World Cup is going on as well. It just seems crazy. But I guess the schedule window is not planned, as we talk about all the time, and so you take what you can get.
Or is it the tip of the pyramid? I often wonder this. I mean, you're sort of talking about it as the base. Is MLC the end game for US cricket? I mean, is it ever going to be realistic that they're a test side or even a semi-competitive white ball international side?
Yeah, well, I think they've got 20, I think there's a 20 or 30 team league that sits underneath that MLC, and that's just getting going as well. So, yeah, I guess I'm talking about it as in terms of the top of the pyramid that they can. I agree with you. It's like what they're going to aspire to be a part of, but it's really just the start, I think, of what they're trying to do over there. It's a 10-year plan or a 20-year plan. A lot of money involved, no question.
Yeah, and they're building cricket-specific grounds, right? Which is probably a good
helpful.
Start. Yeah, helpful.
Yep, and academies and youth programs. All of that sort of stuff. Making sure that good players, you've just listed a whole bunch off there, Mike, are in the mix. But it doesn't seem like it's captured the imagination at this stage in 2026.
Righto, we're going to take another quick hydration break, fellas, because we're going to be back with some of the furniture, including Cricket Violence Corner and a return of Bat Chat. Rightio, before we get to Cricket Violence Corner with you, Paul Stewart Ford, Colin Maiden Park, work has begun.
Talking about cricket-specific
infrastructure
facilities and infrastructure, yeah.
So look, I've been quite vocal on the Colin Maiden Park situation, and there's been some correspondence sent in, some vicious correspondence. And I agree with them, because the people have sent it in, and they've got a good point. They're building a cricket-specific stadium. They're building facilities. They're building training facilities. They're going to have an academy there. This is all great stuff for Auckland cricket and for young professional cricketers who want to, be in a facility that's purpose-built.
Yep. We've never argued against that.
No, I'm totally for that, and I get it. And I get it that it's a good thing, because Eden Park doesn't provide that. And certainly Western Springs wouldn't have provided that as to the level that they're going to get at Colin Maiden. My issue is I don't want to go there. And I'm picking, and I know some of the arguments of the train lines and no.
Good argument. Well articulated.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Why make it like it's hard enough at the moment to get people to domestic cricket or even to international cricket if it's if we're going to be completely honest. You need to take down the barriers, and the barriers are having it on a train and going out to East Auckland and going into suburban Glen Innes and going to watch some cricket in a windswept park out in the East Auckland. Sure, there's some people in East Auckland who'll go. I'm sure the club members there will go.
Northern club members?
Yeah, I'm sure they will. But it's just lacks a little bit of vision for me. And I know it ticks the box for all the administrators and development and everything. But as a fan and for the fans, it eats ass.
So it's awesome, but it's still in Glen Innes.
Yeah. That's what I mean. And people go, people will come. Build it, they will come. They won't. They built an Albany Stadium. They didn't come, did they?
No.
It's like, make it easy. And I know I bang on about Vic Park, but I mean, you've got to have a little bit of vision. That'll never happen, neither with a waterfront stadium. I'm just yelling at the clouds. I'm not even that old, but I'm still yelling at the clouds. Anyway, that's my argument. I'm not arguing against the fact that they're building these nice facilities, and it'll be great. I'm sure it'll be great for Auckland cricket and the development of it, but I'm not going there to watch a game there. There you go. Okay, Paul Ford, before I actually become a Cricket Violence Corner topic, let's get into it.
Paul Ford's Cricket Violence Corner.
Thanks, Jeff Boycott. A cricket game in Vancouver was violently interrupted on Saturday, according to authorities. A group was gathered at Connaught Park around 6 p.m. when a man walked across the pitch and repeatedly interfered with play. The police said players and spectators asked him to leave, at which point the suspect allegedly became aggressive, shouting and swearing. He then allegedly punched a 37-year-old player and bear sprayed 5 others before fleeing the park. As the players followed him, the suspect allegedly turned around several times and continued to bear spray them. The suspect punched the same player again before tackling him, breaking his arm. He was arrested but has since been released from custody. I had a quick look. Bear spray in Vancouver costs about 60 Canadian dollars depending on the brand and canister size.
How far can you shoot that bear spray? Because, I mean, for me, like, if it only shoots a couple of metres, surely you're done. If a bear's a couple of metres away from you, it must shoot, like, quite a long way.
I think it's more like a water pistol, like a fire, like a fire extinguisher. I think it's that sort of setup.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
I've only just clicked now. I thought you meant he was drinking
and spraying him with beer.
Spraying him with beer.
It's hard to say beer and bear. But it's Canada and it's bear, like
as in
big scary mammal,
as in grizzly bears.
Correct.
That's some good stuff. Okay, now it's a return of one of the favourite segments in the BYC. Well, something that's taken off in the last 12 months or so, and that is Bat Chat.
Bat Chat, chat.
I've completely forgotten to open this link.
Hey, what a great teaser. I can't wait for you to talk to us about the link about a father's risky decision to buy a cricket bat during COVID-19 becoming a turning point for his family next week.
A little bit of Bat Chat. I know you guys sent a couple of links to the Hollywood Cricket Club.
Oh, yes.
And I think there's a collab with... who was it?
Millichamp and Hall?
Millichamp and Hall and the Hollywood Cricket Club have done a collab where you can get yourself a limited edition Hollywood Cricket bat from their website. How much was it, Joe?
$1,800 US.
$1,800 US. Jesus Christ. The shirts were quite expensive too.
$319. This is the new brand that I don't know who owns it categorically, but I know Reece Topley, Zamps, and the Whakamana Express are all involved. The fashionistas involved in this one.
All right.
I saw Millichamp and Hall made an appearance at the Oval. James Rue is a Millichamp boy.
Oh, right.
Well, he's from Somerset, and Millichamp and Hall was based just out of Taunton, a little place called Bishop's Lydiard. And he was using Millichamp and Hall wicket-keeping gloves, which I didn't think was an amazing advert.
He may find that he is batting with a stickerless and logoless set of gloves, a stickless bat and a logoless set of gloves next time we see him in the international arena.
Rightio. Well, look forward to another edition of Bat Chat. At least we've got another Bat Chat for next week now. AI Corner.
You're fine. We haven't got a sting for this, but I listened to an interview. I think it was with Alexis McAllister, the Argentine football midfielder, and he was talking about Lionel Messi and why they all love him, and he said Messi had no idea of the records that and milestones he was approaching or passing, and these are goal-scoring records, etc. That's why we love him. And I was thinking about it, and then I had a look at his photo, Lionel Messi. It's an uncanny resemblance to Kane Williamson. And I wondered if anyone had done a paternity test on him. So I went to AI anyway and plugged them into the image machine, and it's pretty freaky. And I know this is a podcast and you can't see the image, but Mike Glenn, you can testify that they have clearly come from the same father.
The hair and I think the nose of Messi, but the same eyes. The tattoo on the throat probably is not
with the cricket bat.
With the cricket bat and a football. Yeah. That's very AI.
It's a nice touch. But anyway, I found a poem written by Eva Peron, and it's called Two Pitches, One Soul. The left foot drops, the defender falls, a genius carving through stadium walls. A simple shrug, no boastful cry, just magic underneath the sky. Across the world, the willow bends, where patience starts and panic ends. Soft hands in defence, late cut he guides with quiet, unassuming pride. They do not scream, they do not boast. They thrill the ones who love them most by playing for the shirt they wear and lifting trophies through the air. Two masters of a different ball, yet built the same, admired by all. For greatness isn't always loud. Sometimes it softly bows the crowd.
Oh, Eva, big cricket fan, was she?
Or sometimes it just goes into a hotel room and retires and just drifts off into the night, never to be seen or heard of again. They do say, apparently, they do say that Williamson is the Messi of cricket, but I have yet to hear them describe him on the Football World Cup. I've yet to hear them say that Messi is the Williamson of football, but it would be a great day when they do.
Absolutely. Seen a number of steady the ship hats over there, so look, there's people out there repping. Don't worry about that, and not even at New Zealand games.
I saw one at Algeria, Jordan, of all places.
You've cracked the Algerian market. That's great. That's really good. Heaps of people live in Algeria.
Oh, yes, way better. I mean, I don't think they'll pay the same as Kiwis pay, though. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, but your hats will go a long way, in a population of whatever Algeria has. 48 million than they will across New Zealand. So,
this is
a good idea to break into that market.
Most people in New Zealand have got one anyway at this stage. Alrighty, thanks, gents. Before we go, I've placed a punt, our BYC punt. I've gone purely because I think it's going to be his series to win. I've gone Matt Henry to be the top wicket taker in the first innings because I think if we're going to win this game, he's going to win it for us and be man of the series. So I'll put our $100 bonus cash on him to be the top wicket taker. But after hearing you talk about Mitchell, about potentially taking spin, it's like, oh, damn it, maybe I should have.
Not in the first innings, so I think you're safe there.
Yeah, okay.
And I should also note, as a public service announcement, if this does go well and Bazball is killed off, you can tune in for another celebration special from Paul Ford and I.
And for the record, Shoaib Bashir hasn't even been able to make his county team in between test matches.
Oh, Jesus, okay.
Division 2, Derbyshire, not selected.
Rightio, well, it all kicks off 10 o'clock Thursday night, the third test. And like Dylan said, if there is a victory, there will be a victory podcast, a special victory podcast coming into your ear holes. Hopefully Monday, potentially Tuesday. But until then,